Today I'm going to secure the drawing on the stone in order to prepare it for further additional artwork with different drawing techniques. So first I'm gonna put some talc powder onto it. The talc powder is meant to reduce the resistance of the grease to gum and water, so in order to get a more clear, defined drawing. I'll brush off the excess of talcum powder now. You can vaguely see the lines are scratched into the gum, and now I'm gently gonna wash off actually the excess ink and grease. I use regular turpentine for that. So it's all dissolved now. That will do for the moment. Now I roll up the whole stone with ink. Then I drop a little bit of water on the stone. And with a rubber roll I roll off the excess of ink. Add a little bit of water. So now we have to design the artwork in black on white. Give it a quick wash to remove the last traces of excess ink, and with a clean sponge I remove the excess of water. So that looks pretty good. I'll tell a bit more about this particular design. I adapted it from a book about old Celtic designs. I tried to reconstruct it geometrically as much as possible. It's amazingly complicated. It's one loop, not several entangled. Just one loop. If you follow the line, you end where you started. It took me a good while to figure it out, and I wonder who made it up, who invented it. I suspect it probably a succession of artists copied from one another, and they developed it more and more over time, but that's just my guess. Anyway, it's absolutely fascinating. I want to add more artwork. I want to leave the lines white. I'm gonna dry it and then secure the roll-up ink so I can use the vinegar to prepare the stone surface for additional artwork. That's the next step. First I add some rosin to the ink. That's in order to make it more acid resistant. Brush off the excess, and now I'm going to melt it into the ink. I covered the loop with Arabic gum in order to be more free to fill in the background. I'm making this up as I go along and have no idea yet exactly what I'm going to do. But something I want to point out about the design is the geometry of it. There's 3 loops in the center. They form a triangle. They double into an hexagon in the 6 loops, which double again in 12 loops at the edge. I'm working on the next stage of this design. I'm using lithographic pencils. They come in different hardnesses or softnesses. I like to build up the grey tones slowly, gradually. I'm going to try to give it a bit of a 3-dimensional aspect. I don't often put much planning into those designs. Do some planning, of course, but well, maybe a lot even, but usually my experience is that those designs take a life of themselves, and I like to kind of let them go, see what they decide to do, you know, and I might start out with a plan, but usually I gradually just turn into the executor of what the designer has got in mind, as if it's got its own mind or something. I don't really know a better way to explain it for the moment. We'll see how this one goes. And because the white of the loops is protected by the gum, I can freely go over it with a pencil. The pencil that's on top of the gum will wash away. So I did some additional drawing on this stone using lithographic pencil, which I showed before. I ran out of battery on the camera, so I couldn't show you how I covered the whole stone with a layer of gum Arabic in order to prepare the exposed stone, not to take ink. The next step now is to replace the drawing material with roll-up ink, and the roll-up ink is meant to enable me to etch the stone. I'm going to show that later how I do that. I'll explain what it exactly means. So for now I first have to dissolve the gum and then wipe it off the drawing material, but leave it on the exposed stone. So that's the thing I will be doing next. Just a small drop. Spread it out gently. So the fresh gum dissolves the old gum, and you can see where I put the drawing material on top of gum. That starts coming off already. That's the black stuff you see in the gum. So now with a dry cloth I'm gonna rub it dry, which means that all the gum that's on top of the drawing material will be removed now. So only those bits will be exposed. And the cloth has to be really dry in order not dissolve or thin the gum even more than it already is. You have to be careful not to drop any droplets of water on it. Now I'm going to wash out the original drawing material. I used turpentine or a special substitute for that. So the blank parts of the stone are still protected by the gum Arabic. So the turpentine or the lithotin will take away only the greasy bits. So you still can vaguely see the drawing. It looks as if most of it is gone, but the ground, the greasy ground that will take the ink, is still there. The gum and the grease affected the stone on a molecular level, so to make it either receptive for water or for grease. I do it slowly and gradually to get an even layer of ink. Now we come to the part that looks like magic. I'm gonna drop a bit of water on the stone. And the water now is gonna dissolve the gum. Now with a rubber roll, I'm gonna roll off the excessive ink. So all the ink that's on top of the layer of gum. There you see the drawing coming back again. With a magnifier I checked if there's enough ink, roll-up ink on the design now, and that's the case. So now I'm gonna protect the drawing against water and acid, because I want to treat it with vinegar again, because I want to do even more additional artwork. I want to give some shadow where the loops overlap. I protect it against water with talc. Careful not to smear the roll-up ink. And then some resin. Which I will melt in. That's enough. So that's ready to be treated with vinegar again, and then I can go on with the artwork.